top left screen.
Hello and welcome to the Spaghetti Junction podcast. My name is Bruce.
My name is Gareth.
And we talk about things. We just don't know where they're going to go.
I didn't know that me saying my name would have made you laugh, but you're welcome. That was weird.
Yeah, it's like you had to think about it for a second.
Yeah, my mind was somewhere else. Synopsis from our last episode: you rock and rolled and went to town with, well, not to town, maybe with the band and all. How did that go?
Yeah, Christian Heath Band.
Yeah.
One night only reunion show. It was epic. It was very, very cool. Great venue here in Stratham Park in Randburg in Joburg.
Yeah.
Called Sonnage.
Sonnage.
Awesome lighting, great sound. It was just very professional guys. It really helped us to kill it, and with a session drummer as well who really did it. So shout out to Dean, he really killed it. And a lot of people came out, a lot of people that we hadn't seen for a while. It was great to catch up with people who had been involved in the band, parents of band members, family members, all that kind of thing. So it was very cool.
That's really awesome. I'm going to try and pop a little part of it. It's the music. It's a video that you sent me. One of the three. I'm trying to see if I can. If it allows me to do this, sorry, don't mind me. And you mentioned that I'm trying another way of doing this. You mentioned as well that the 12-year-old band, they rocked out to what they could.
Oh yes, so this was our lead singer's 12-year-old son, and his young band. It was their first gig and everything. And they did well. Obviously, first gig, they were very nervous. Young kids, 12, 13 years old, but very passionate, and they did their thing. So
very brave. And you know what? I mean, to actually say that you played in a venue like that with other big bands when you're 12, I think that's a feature in itself.
Correct. Yeah. So. I think to experience on that stage with that big sound and all that kind of thing as well, that's something that's kind of can be a little bit freaky. So,
but I just found this video. This is, here we go. It's a nice riff, eh? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
What I did laugh about is that in front of the stage, there's those metal barricades. The only reason why it made me laugh is you only really see them in like a huge arena, like a huge show, and there's I was like, who's going to be rushing the stage? But obviously they concerned for somebody. I don't know what or who.
Yeah, I think they're just there permanently because that they can fit a lot of people in that place. They really can.
Oh, really?
Okay. And so for some of the South African bands that do big shows there, we've had some We've had some sort of lesser known international rock bands come out to do shows as well.
Okay, so it's a biggish venue.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a really great setup. So yeah, let's hope that they stick around, because venues have a it's a bit sad, venues come up and they're really awesome, and then a couple of years later they've been run into the ground, and no one knows how to manage them and stuff like that, and then gone. So it's tough. So kudos to them for having the courage to put something like that together. So let's hope it keeps going.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Very nice. I like. Do you want to jump into our conversation that was going to be last week, but now it's this week? And
yes. Today on the Spaghetti Junction podcast, electric vehicles, reality or fantasy? There's your soundbite, bro. You're welcome.
That's funny. Okay, so you've been quite passionate about this, so I will definitely be part of the conversation, but I'm interested to see where you're going to go with this, because it is I think there's a lot of truths behind, is it good or bad, and then there's just some made up rubbish that it just doesn't. So hopefully we'll get to a point where we can actually try and understand it, and if it is actually well, is your view of it as in like, are electric cars good or bad, or what is your kind of approach with this?
Well, okay. All right. Firstly, I wouldn't say I'm passionate. It's just something that I'm interested in, because it's a big enough topic that it's going to affect, economies and stuff like that. And it's something that's being very bit pushed, especially in the US, Western Europe, the UK. We know that Rowan, our friend in the UK, drives a fully electric vehicle. It would have been interesting to get his take, because Rowan's not stupid. He would make a plan. He would. Yes, wow.
I'm kidding. I love you, Ron. I do.
But
very much.
I mean, he wouldn't have made a decision like that lightly, and he would have been like, okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's had that vehicle for a couple of years. I don't know what it is. I can never remember the make, but it's pretty impressive.
It's a nice car. Yeah.
And so he would have gone like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to need to make sure that there's infrastructure, and there obviously is infrastructure where they are, but for a lot of people that is not the case. So look, I've got to be honest. I think the whole electric vehicle thing, the technology is amazing. Like I'm blown away with what I've seen.
Yeah.
And I mean, the fastest car in the world now in a quarter-mile drag is an electric car.
The fastest car, really?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
that's sad.
It's this.
That's kind of sad.
It's this little thing. Yeah, I know. It's this little thing called a McMurtry Spearleg. It's a weird name. It looks like a shrunken Batmobile. It really does. But it reaches something like 100 km an hour in like, or even faster, in like less than 2 seconds. It's, when you watch the videos of this thing, it's just incredible. Anyway,
what is this? Well, now that my interest has peaked, how do I spell that? Any idea? Because I'm interested to actually see it.
First word, McMurtry.
Spearleg. There we go. I got it.
There you go. That's it.
Let me just pull up, because now I'm interested now.
You see, it looks like a mini Batmobile.
Okay, here we go. I'm just going to pull it up, because it's for the sake of the conversation we're having. I'm actually very interested now to see what this thing does.
Yeah.
Right. There we go, champ.
Oh, this is its. Yeah, look at this thing.
That is fast. That is way fast. This thing is a monster.
I want one. I want one so badly.
That's crazy. Now, what is also quite something, I think, is that the person who drives it also has to be an incredible driver, because that's so fast. Knowing all the curves and that's in itself is a skill. It's just sad that I mean, it makes me think of what they did to the electric motorbikes. Also, really good feet, really great, but you have it kind of like loses its feel.
Yeah. So that's, you know, it's sort of like a lot of like your real sort of diehard car enthusiasts. You know, it's all about the engine sound and the exhaust, the power of like a big engine, which I completely get. I mean, geez, obviously. But you cannot dispute that the technology and the way the development of how all this has come about is pretty amazing. That, you know, do you know how that car actually stays on the ground like that? It's actually got a fan underneath it that literally sucks it to the road.
No ways.
So it's got the engines that drive the wheels. But then it literally creates a suction on the bottom that holds it to the ground, and that's why it can go around those corners so fast.
Oh shit, that's so clever.
It's ridiculous. It's insane. When you watch it on the drag, do you know CarWow? Do you ever watch CarWow?
Yes, I do. I do sometimes.
They've done a couple of videos with that car doing a drag against like the hottest Porsche that you can get, and it just leaves this Porsche in the dust.
Yeah,
it's then you see the acceleration just over a quarter-mile drag. This thing is ridiculous.
Yes. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so and then everyone talks about how fast the Tesla is and that kind of thing, you know, off the mark, and because there's hardly any moving parts or gears or anything. There's less stuff in the way, and it just flies. The problem, the big concern though that a lot of people have, and this is what I'm concerned about, is that the electric vehicle thing is being pushed. It's almost like it's too much too soon, and the infrastructure in certain countries, especially in the US, is not available for that. And then for the average consumer who needs a car, they're going to be kind of alienated because of the price, and also, you know, it's going to take a long time for people to come around to that way of thinking. But we see this because so many new technology it has its like doubters and its naysayers, but you know, eventually people do come around. But when you start putting in mandates for, like, I don't know, like 6 years from now, for over 50% of your of the cars manufactured to be electric, that's going to be a problem, because I mean the prices of electric cars are so beyond what so many people can actually afford. Because you're looking at only what is it? So I've got an interesting article here. So this is the
I'm just gonna close the window. My neighbors are bouncing all over the trampoline.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. So I've got an article here from the National Automobile Dealers Association, got an article here from the National Automobiles Dealer Association of America.
Yeah.
Okay. And they in America, the EV vehicle, the EV is only really 7.1% of the new car market. So it's still a very, very small, small part of because there's only a certain type of demographic that can actually afford this kind of vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So because you're looking, so this article came out in August of this year, but in November 2022, the average price was above $65,000 for an electric vehicle. And the average price of a normal petrol-powered vehicle is $47,000 to $48,000. So it's a large markup. Hell, cars are expensive. Cars are expensive everywhere. It's crazy. So yeah, it's like around a $7,000 price difference, and that hits a lot of people. So, and then like I said, with the whole thing of the charging of an electric vehicle and how long it actually takes versus how long it takes to half fill a petrol tank.
Yeah.
I'm in and out of a petrol station in 5 minutes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, okay, now I've got to put my car on charge and I've got 30 minutes. Who's got half an hour to waste?
For at least half an hour, if not more.
Yeah, depending on the kind of charger that you use. There are rapid chargers that can charge your car faster, but there are so few of them still.
Yeah.
I
would love to know though, expense-wise, how much it would cost. I don't have any idea how much it would cost to fill up, meaning fill up a tank, meaning
fully charge.
To fully charge the battery compared to how much money you would spend by putting in petrol. I don't know if they equate or not.
Yeah, I think it's around it was an interview I was listening to. They were talking about like $80 to fully charge, whereas it would be like $40 to fill a average truck petrol tank. So it's like twice the
40. Here I pay. No, it can't be, because like here on petrol is about $120 for a full tank. And yes, the dollar is obviously stronger in America, but I can't see them only spending $40. Yeah, I mean, I'll actually have a check now on it. Sorry, it just makes me wonder, like, if that's the case, that's not bad at all.
Look, I didn't look into the prices comparing filling a tank with petrol so that's on me. Sorry about that.
No. I'm I'm interested.
Yeah. But I think more than the price of it, it's the time. Who's got time these days to sit and wait for their electric vehicle to charge? So when you've got so the infrastructure that is needed within the in America, at least according to this article, is an estimated to meet demand. It would be estimated 1.2 million public chargers and 20 to 20 million private chargers needed by 2030.
Million.
Yeah, America's a big place, man. Because remember, we're talking the North America, we're talking Alaska, and we're talking Hawaii. If you include all 50 states.
Oh, okay.
So I still can't get my head around how big America actually is. I mean, you've been to the States. I mean, it's crazy.
It's humongous.
So And so the mandate that the Biden administration put in place was that by 2032, 56% of US vehicle sales are required to be electric vehicles.
Sheesh, okay.
So that's over half. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why, so that's why a lot of people are very concerned that it's too much too soon. They think that this can be implemented within, what are we? We're going into 2025. Geez, that's 7 years. That's not even a decade. That's not going to happen.
No.
You know, and with the current level of infrastructure, they are just the charging stations are just have not been. So we're so that, and to get all those charging stations up in place by 2032. I don't know. And also we talk about America being, a first world country and whatever. A lot of states do not have a very, very stable power grid. In South Africa, we know all about that.
Yeah, actually, it makes me laugh when you mention that. It's like the future of electric cars in South Africa must be kind of shaky.
Oh dear,
just going
Earth is frozen.
On. No, I'm still here. Nope, I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay. You froze for a bit and disappeared.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay, cool. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is, although it's funny, but it's not, is I would imagine that the electric car industry in South Africa is slightly shaky just due to the amount of load shedding. So imagine you're driving around in your car and you're low on battery and nowhere you can go has electricity. Well, what do you do? That's
Correct.
a problem.
Look, and just on that point, I've got to be honest, we still haven't had load shedding. It's still
it's incredible.
It's amazing. The robots are working. It's like, wow. Yeah. So just on that point. So
that's good.
So all the electric vehicle owners in South Africa are now getting hopeful, because we do have there are some charging stations in South Africa, and there are a couple of fully electric vehicles, but it's not to the extent of the other parts of the world. But so that's the big concern. But what I've got to be honest with, and this is where the debate comes in, because you've got fully electric vehicles, but then you have the hybrid technology, which is
yes, and that's expensive as well. The cars.
Correct. But it seems it seems much more practical if you're going to sort of look at the whole EV side of things, to use a hybrid vehicle. Now, we saw this with Toyota when Toyota first brought out the Prius. Okay, love or hate the Prius. Toyota's hybrid technology. I was talking to Brendan about this when he was out here visiting. We had a good chat, and he was saying Toyota's hybrid technology is 10 years ahead of everyone else. Toyota were doing it first. And then because Brendan has got a little Toyota hybrid. And if you know.
Oh, I didn't know it was a hybrid. No.
Yes. So he was telling me he doesn't even drive his Subaru anymore. He starts it to move it. It sits in the garage. But they've got the little a little 1.3 Toyota Yaris hybrid. And he says he loves that little thing. And this is Brendan. When Brendan says he loves a car, he's legit, right?
Yeah.
Brendan's the car guy in our group of friends. And he says the acceleration on this little thing is incredible. It's 1.3 liter automatic hybrid. And I've been looking at Honda as well, because now I've got a Honda Jazz, normal petrol driven manual Honda Jazz, but now we've got the Honda Fit in this country now. So it's like the Jazz, but they've just changed the name. And we've got 3 of them. Two are just normal petrol engine. You can't get a manual anymore. But the top of the range one is a hybrid.
Okay.
And I've watched some YouTube reviews on this thing, and it's freaking impressive. Because what happens is the reason why the hybrid is almost like the best of both worlds is up until a certain point, the engine only acts as a generator to power and supply power to the batteries, which actually drive the car.
Yeah.
And then only up to a certain speed, or if you really want to put your foot down because you need some oomph, does the engine actually kick in to give you that extra power. But for most of your driving around, you're actually on battery power with the engine kind of idling, and it's just ticking over, creating, and that's cool because you're saving on petrol big time.
Oh yeah.
So you still have to fill the car with petrol, but your petrol takes you so much further.
Yeah. It's clever.
And yeah, it's amazing. And so that's the advantage of the hybrid technology. I must say, after doing that, I'd be very open to having a hybrid car over just a normal petrol engine. But
what is the car called again?
It's the Honda Fit. The only problem is the Honda Fit in South Africa is over 500,000 rand, so R500,000 car.
R500,000.
Yeah, I was looking at the prices. But I had a student. Shit. I had a guitar student who worked for Honda, and she was driving one at one stage, and I was like, "Oh, is this this was months ago, last year." And she's like, "Oh yeah, this is the hybrid." And I said, "Well, yeah, how much is it?" She's like, "Yeah, it's about 500K." I'm like, what?
500K
for a little
easy
for a little 4-door hatchback, eh? So
yeah, that's crazy.
But remember what we've seen, the more prevalent technology gets, the cheaper it gets. So you will see, if this carries on, you will see these types of prices. It'll be easier to, the car prices are just going to go up no matter what. But
yeah,
it's, you're going to find, and then you're going to find you won't have to pay 500,000 rand for a little EV.
Yeah.
But and then obviously the Chinese are going to starting to flood the market as well with a lot of different hybrids in it. And so
may I break this a little bit off? I want to show you. It's the it's in line, obviously, with what we're talking about. It's the new Honda Civic Hybrid Touring 25. You got to see this machine. It makes me cry inside. I know. Honda Civics, beautiful cars. Just for a little bit of light-heartedness on the side.
Is this the hatch?
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid stands out as one of the most intriguing models in the hybrid sedan class, excelling in fuel efficiency, performance, and modern technology. Compared to the standard model, this Civic Hybrid offers significantly better fuel economy, with an estimated EPA rating of 50 miles per gallon in the city, 47 miles per gallon on the highway, and 49 miles per gallon combined. This makes it an incredibly efficient choice for drivers who frequently navigate city traffic. Technically, the 2025 Civic Hybrid uses a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine paired with a 2-motor hybrid system.
That's really well made.
This setup produces 200 horsepower and 232 lb-ft of torque, making it one of the most powerful Civics outside of the performance-focused Type R or C models. The hybrid engine also provides quick power delivery, thanks to its torque being available at low engine speeds. In terms of design, Honda has refreshed the 2025 Civic with a more aggressive and modern look.
That's very aggressive.
Honda has also equipped the hybrid model with the Honda Sensing Safety Package, which includes features like collision mitigation, adaptive cruise control, and lane keeping assist.
And there's more, but
oh my word!
Watched that for a while, couldn't we?
Jeepers!
So as much as I'm like electric cars, yeah, that'll probably sell me across to it.
I must say, since seeing my first Honda Civic Sport, the sports sedan, I've been like, oh, I want that. But no, but that's interesting because the current one is only a 1.5 liter engine, so it's not. I'm glad because and then I was a little disappointed. I'm like, really? Is that all? But now they say, okay, now it's a 2 liter. I'm like, oh yeah, now that's what we're talking.
Oh yeah, that'll eat up the road.
Yeah, and wow, what a beautiful car, eh? Chiefs, that front end. Yes.
Can I add
wow.
Can I bring in something to the conversation?
Please.
So this is just a random thing. South Africa has 350 charging points. So all around the country. I mean, it sounds a lot, but it's such a big country. 350 is not really that much. I mean, that's like,
you know what? Yeah.
And that was one thing. The other thing that I did want to bring up was the problem. So obviously, electric cars. One of the major reason is to help the the environment and so forth.
Emissions, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah,
exactly. But now the problem is the batteries. The batteries basically need a rare metal, which is cobalt, I think it is. Lithium. And then lithium, and then other metals used in the cars, copper, and the long goes line. And what it's saying is that the a lot of the metals that have been made and structured into the batteries are sometimes harmful. What we're looking for, toxins. I'll read you something quickly. What I was reading here, and it says this. It's just an interesting, because yes, they are pushed as better for the environment and so forth. But now here's this is now what is said now as the downside. The batteries for electric cars use a lot of lithium, the lightest metal and the lightest solid element under normal conditions. Other metals used in electric cars include copper, cobalt, aluminium, nickel, and sometimes manganese. And there are rich cobalt deposits in countries everywhere, and they were basically saying that cobalt is toxic to humans, and the people who actually work in the mines and in the environment that creates, that they mine those metals. A lot of the work and what is happening in the background is below, or what you can say, subpar to where am I going with this? It's basically saying that a lot of the working and the mining and what is happening to bring those metals to the surface is sometimes not as well maintained, or basically the environment and the risks and everything like that are quite high, and the conditions where it's happening are sometimes very unsafe. I just wanted to bring that in because that'll be probably the biggest thing that somebody who is negative about the cars will bring up. The one thing is definitely linked around their battery. And okay, cool. Yes. And there was one final thing here, sorry, that it says that making electric cars creates more emissions. And this is let me just read a little bit of this article, and then I'll leave the rest to you. It says this: to get a real idea of how much greenhouse gas is emitted during the manufacture of an electric car, you have to look at how its components are sourced and made. the raw materials for making the car have to be mined, and the process of mining creates a lot of greenhouse gases. Then the raw materials have to be refined before they can be used, which again emits more greenhouse gas. Then more greenhouse gas is emitted in the manufacturing process. So there's a lot happening in the creation of the car, is basically what it's saying. When the car's on the road, brilliant. It's just the actual creation of the car that comes with all the harmful emissions, etc., to the climate that they're trying not to do women driving the car. It's just an interesting look at the background of it.
So it's you're talking it's the environmental impact of just the mining of the lithium is they don't seem to want to talk about that.
No, they don't.
So, and what's very interesting, so I have an article here. This is the APM Research Lab, and this is it's talking about is how sustainable is lithium mining for electric vehicles, and so Australia is actually the largest producer of lithium in the world, interestingly enough.
Really?
Followed by Chile and then China.
Yes, that's right. I was having a read of that.
And then also Thailand, India, and Argentina have also started doing.
What's interesting is, like, on my article, it doesn't say anything about Australia. It's so crazy.
Okay. So then what's
Chile produces the largest amount of lithium, 8,800 tons per year.
Well, you know what? It's the internet, so we could be wrong.
Exactly. It's somebody. Let's give it to the Aussies, okay?
Yeah, so let's say, we've got there are countries that are definitely realizing that it's a white gold that they're going to cash in on. Let's just but
sure.
With what's very interesting though is with the if we come back to talking about America, the US it's got very rich but untapped deposits of lithium. There is actually only one active lithium mine in America, in the US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's in the state of Nevada. But then you get Exxon Mobil. Sorry, they want to set up a mining facility in Arkansas, and they want to become the leading supplier of lithium by the end of the decade.
Of course they want to.
So they can see that it's going to be advantageous.
Oh, absolutely. It's money making.
Yeah. And then and then what they say is the lithium, like you were saying, the lithium extraction and mining is only one part of the process, because then it has to be refined. And according to this article, only 2.1% of lithium is refined in the US. So the US, the problem is the US is spending so much on importing the lithium, and obviously that's going to increase the cost of an electric vehicle.
Exactly.
And so if you are able to tap into your own lithium deposits, those costs are going to be reduced. So I'm like, that's a smart move. If you're going to do this, flip and work in your own backyard, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's that whole thing of the lithium batteries. And remember, lithium is not just in EVs. It's in our cell phones. It's in everything that requires, almost anything electronic that requires a battery now. Uses a lithium-based battery. So it's a huge industry. So we'll have to see how things go. But I think it's just the main thing is the current administration in the US is just they're trying to push something way too big, way too soon, and they're not giving. I don't think they're giving the average consumer enough time to like come around. And what the problem is that if this mandate gets pushed through, which I doubt it will, I mean, I think we're going to have a new president at the end of the year. We are going to, and I don't think it's going to be.
We will be.
And I think if it's good old Don, I think he might reverse this.
Yeah.
But if Kamala gets in, you see, then they might keep on pushing it. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see in November. But that's the what was I? Flip. I've lost my train of thought. Stop it.
Wrap us up.
A little bit too much too soon. And then what's going to happen is if a mandate like this gets pushed through and companies have to comply, the average consumer is going to be forced. They almost not have a choice to go, oh, flip. Now I'm going to have to get an electric vehicle, even though I don't want one and I can't afford one. And that's just going to have a knock-on effect. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So
yeah, interesting. All I want to know is that I don't want to get forced to what car I buy.
Exactly. And we've seen big companies like especially Ford and Volvo who have now backpedaled away from that. They're like, okay, cool, we'll do hybrids, but we're going to do a very small percentage of fully electric vehicles, but we're like, screw you. We're not going to go along with this mandate because we understand that it's pie in the sky. So good on them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think electric cars are definitely. I think I'm finding here that hybrid cars is more the choice. And also, on a light note, what I don't like about electric cars is you can't hear them behind you. Like I'm walking down a road and I turn around and there's a car near the curb. I mean, that's so quiet. I know. Yeah. It's like, what's going on?
They're sneaky. They're sneaky.
Oh, sneaky. And I don't like it.
Sneaky little hobbitses.
Little hobbitses.
Sneaky.
That reminds me, I need to work on my photos from my holiday.
Yes, you do.
So much. Once I work out this whole job thing going on, I'll take a bit of time and work on a few of them.
Cool.
Anyways,
okay.
Thank you, Bruce. That was actually
thank you, Gareth.
Educational. And
it was a good chat.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Cool.
So if you have an electric car, pros and cons. If you don't, and you don't want one, well, why? Okay, etc. There we go.
Yeah. So, like, comment, subscribe, and share, because this has been the Spaghetti Junction podcast.
It has been, yes.
Engage with us and give us a chat and have a chat with us about your your experiences with electric vehicles in your country.
That's right. Always.
And if your team gas guzzling internal combustion or team battery powered, whatever. There you go.
You know what? Even though it's nice to have a good loud engine on a motorbike, those electric ones are friggin' amazing vehicles.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they're so well crafted. But I do like a little bit of noise.
Correct.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks for watching and listening and all that kind of stuff. And we will definitely catch you on the next one.
Catch you. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.